I want to touch on something, please, lads.
Go on.
Rory,
Theo.
the man of many opinions.
Oh.
Before the game,
Such a
you were
good
very
fight.
pessimistic about England. You said, God damn, it could be
been here 2 minutes.
could be a draw. Could be a draw. Could be a loss. We're not going to do very well. Look at the Nations League. Look at the form. And I said, no. I said, wait a minute. Don't be that pessimistic English fan, which half the country is. I said, be the positive man. You're looking at a team that's got to a World Cup semi-final, a Euros final. Fuck the Nations League. Piece of shit. Waste of time. We're at a World Cup. You look at the players in our team, you think, God damn, world class.
Yeah.
You think Lil Phil, generational talent. You think Jude,
on the bench.
generation talent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Money Mace.
But the issue has never been the squad, Theo.
6 goals. Everyone already said, yeah, okay, fine. But the other issue was like, oh, we don't score goals. We just scored 6 goals.
Yeah.
6.
But two people on this table currently actually predicted a 4-goal deficit scoreline.
That's why you've got the podcast.
That's goddamn
why I'm the
right.
guest. But no, look,
What went right?
everything went right. It was a perfect performance from Gareth Southgate. I think he will be over the moon with it. It was the dream scenario, but it's also what it should be. Like that's how England,
I agree.
That's how England should play.
Yeah,
that's how much England are capable of, and that's what we should be doing far more often. Like the fact that we couldn't score a goal through the Nations League, the fact that we got relegated in the Nations League, the fact that we lost 4-0 to Hungary at home is a travesty. And in my opinion at the time, I'm not talking like this anymore, by the way, but in my opinion at the time, it was a sackable offence. I felt like England needed to make a big move up top.
But maybe.
But look, I'm not even exploring that now. I've suspended all criticism of Gareth Southgate, and now it's time to focus on the positive.
Here's one for you.
Brilliant.
From a sackable offence to sack a ball, scoring 2 goals.
Here's one for you. Here's one for you. Thoughts on Southgate lowering our expectations before the World Cup to then go and blow everyone out the water?
I mean, my expectations were certainly
intentionally
lower.
sandbagging?
My expectations were certainly lower than they've ever been, but not because of the squad. It was a very weird sort of situation to find myself in, because this is the most talented squad that England have ever had in my lifetime. Like
Not even the golden generation.
No, the golden generation was.
They were in their prime.
The golden generation, right, was sublime as an 11.
Right, yeah.
As an 11. But then you've got to remember, like, Emil Heskey was in that.
Yep.
Trevor Sinclair was in that. It wasn't. Danny Mills was in that. Like, it wasn't incredibly gifted throughout. The 11 was probably better than the 11 today.
Yeah.
But they didn't have Jack Grealish,
Phil Foden on the bench.
Yeah, they didn't have players of that quality not getting in the team. Anybody of that quality was in the team, and it was a brilliant 11. So I think that this team is doing what it should do, and beating Iran in the way that we did, scoring 6 goals, the result never being in threat, like 6-2. You know, we weren't 1-0 down. We didn't go 2-1 down. It was in the bag. The points were in the bag after 4 minutes.
Do you know what I liked is that it was so fluid. Bellingham just the motion he ran. He played with confidence. Declan Rice. I want to know interception stats because they got to be high.
Yeah, hugely.
They got to be so high.
Do you know what as well, Theo? I saw this just before we started recording this podcast. The goal that we scored, the final goal, had more passes in it. So, like the total football. When you always think of like total football, you think of, I don't know, maybe Ruud Gullit and Marco van Basten, that 88 Dutch side or whatever. Since records began in 66, no passes have led to a goal. No fewer passes have led to a goal.
Up.
Yes, the most amount of passes have led to a goal.
That England goal then?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It was apparently the most amount of passes that have ever led to a goal. Done it into the 30s.
Wow.
Serious?
Yeah. I mean, I've read that seconds before coming on here.
There's going to be a tweet showcasing that goal sped up.
Yes.
I'll go down want to see it.
Yeah, that's what I
And
want to
I'm
see.
fuming about that goal, We had money on Callum Wilson to get a shot on target.
Yeah.
Talking about the Grealish goal, right?
Yeah, the Grealish goal, yeah.
Isn't it so enjoyable to see our substitutes coming on and scoring? Rashford scoring, Grealish scoring. But they came on and a confident Marcus Rashford
Dangerous.
And
echoes through
taking
eternity.
the game as well. Like, I think that you can get into a situation where, say you use somebody like, I suppose Bellingham is an example here, but he's so sort of ahead of his years. Even Saka's a good example. It was Bukayo Saka's first ever game at a World Cup.
I'm at a brace.
You could be, which is more goals in a World Cup than Wayne Rooney's ever scored for England at World Cup level.
My God.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very significant, and I appreciate that.
It is.
I appreciate that the opposition is perhaps there for the taking, but Wayne Rooney also had opportunities to score.
I also agreed. Sorry, I also say, you could say, England should have beaten Iran, but I don't like how oh, obviously we're going to win 6. You know, like around they qualify for a World Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
They're no pushovers.
Every group game's hard.
Every game at a World Cup is tough.
For sure.
And before the game started, and look, I was part of the people saying this, and I know that you two got it right. But I was saying that, you know, Carlos Queiroz, he knows the English league, he knows how to set up a defence, he's going to be very resolute. England, in terms of our recent woeful form, have struggled to break teams down. My prediction was England would win the game, but I said 1-0. And I expected 1-0
Tight
Maguire.
scrap, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 1-0 Maguire from a header, but Kieran Trippier's taking a corner. Yeah. So that's what I expected. But I'm very happy to be wrong. And I'm very happy that you're, at the time, in my opinion, crazy prediction of, what did you say?
4-0.
4-0.
Yeah. I mean, you were certainly closer than I was.
Where is the litmus test for how far we should be going in this tournament?
I think we'll get it in the next 2 games. Not necessarily the litmus test will come when we play France.
Test?
The litmus test is just when can you really?
When you can work out whether or not.
So like Arsenal right now have completed the litmus test that we're going to win the league.
The Arsenal
Arsenal's litmus test was when they beat Tottenham for me.
Yeah. Well, the litmus test for us to win the league, I reckon, would be our performances against Newcastle and Manchester City. Because that's where we are against the 2 title contenders.
And for me, it was the day that Arteta beat Conte. That was the day when
hang on. Did you just say our other 2 title contenders are Newcastle and Manchester City?
He's not wrong.
Well, we've said this on the
league table,
podcast,
mate?
haven't we?
Yeah, no, I know. But
You can't ignore them now, can you?
I don't not disagree.
I think they make Champions League, definitely.
I said that as well.
Newcastle,
but the fact that you've even said it is crazy.
No, it is crazy, but Newcastle.
It is.
Newcastle are better than Spurs, Chelsea,
I agree.
Liverpool, United.
The other
at
thing
this
to
point in
remember,
time.
if you think about Newcastle's improvement from the end of last season to the beginning of this season, you know the gap that we're on now, it's comparable. Like the amount of time that Eddie Howe is now off, the amount of time that Newcastle United are now off, it's effectively 2 seasons being pushed together into one. So they've got that level to improve again. I'm sure they'll spend money again in January. And yeah, I mean, look, I think you could say maybe they don't get 3rd. I think 3rd place for them is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
But
Fourth,
I think
very much so.
yeah, like there aren't going to be 2 teams that overtake them. Maybe one will. Maybe they'll drop off a bit and one. So maybe 3rd place is in jeopardy, but 4th isn't.
Going back to the World Cup, though, do you have much confidence in us producing a scoreline that ilk against either USA or Wales?
That's when we'll get an inkling as to how seriously we should take this England team in that game. So, you know, like in previous World Cups, we did this to Panama. You know, we scored 6 past Panama. And ultimately that was proved to be fairly, you know, as soon as we then came up against a half-decent Croatia team, we bottled it. And let's be totally frank, in my opinion at least, Gareth Southgate bottled it. Gareth Southgate was responsible for England not making it to the final. Whether England beat France or whether England would have beaten France in 2018, I think you could probably argue that we wouldn't have done. But there was no excuse for not getting to that final.
Well, we had a quicker litmus test in that one anyway, because Belgium were in our group, right?
Yeah, we lost.
Yeah,
and we lost.
we just don't really have that kind of.
I mean, but we kind of wanted. It was a hard one to tell because didn't we want to lose?
Yeah,
that?
we did because the bracket
it's an
favoured
easier
our
pathway.
route, yeah.
But do you not look at this side now and you think, my God, the talent is just tremendous. It's so insane when you look at this team. I honestly think we blow apart Wales and USA.
Yeah, I do as well.
I honestly think
certainly USA. I think we beat.
Wales.
I think you're giving Wales too much credit, and you're not giving enough credit to USA.
No, but I think the other thing that you have to remember, you know, sometimes it isn't strictly about the talent in the
about the
squad.
rivalry.
So, for example,
the Welsh will want to beat the English way more than the US.
Look, exactly. So, for example, when Queen's Park Rangers play Chelsea, regardless of how poor the Queen's Park Rangers, Chelsea can be champions and Queen's Park Rangers can be relegated, and they'll put in a performance that they're larger.
Yeah, completely makes sense.
It happens, and I feel like
it's their cup final.
The other
right?
thing is,
every time
they've got proper match winners. Like whatever you think of Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey, they
can
are
win a game
proper match winners. They are capable of winning.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm saying England as a team, you know, one player can have a poor game and we could still win that game. If Gareth Bale doesn't show up, I find it very hard to see a way that Wales win that game.
I think England take 9 points out of 9. That's what I said at the beginning.
Agree.
That's what I said at the beginning of this group. I thought we'd take 9 points. And
that's no disrespect to Wales, by the way. It's just
no.
I think you just have to look at the English squad.
It's disrespectful to say that you think England will win. Like I think that England will batter the States as well.
We're third, fourth favourite to win the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't take 9 points from your group as a fourth favourite of the entire competition, it's kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, but we don't. This is why today's result is even more important to acknowledge. We are notoriously slow starters.